The newest video game adaptation just hit theaters. Is it any good? Let's talk about it.
He's good enough.
I'm just gonna grab it.
Okay.
Don't move.
Yeah.
A group of friends trapped in a time loop where mysterious foes are chasing and killing them in gruesome ways must survive until dawn to escape it. Hey everyone, today I'll be reviewing Until Dawn, and as I said in the intro, this is a video game adapted into a movie, but let me come clean with y'all. I have never in my life played this game before, and that's because I used to be a total horror wimp of movies and video games and books and all that. But the last few years, I've been opening up to, of course, more horror movies, a little bit more horror video games. I still haven't really played that many horror video games, but I do remember, like, it was like 4 years ago, I saw like 5 minutes of gameplay footage of Until Dawn on YouTube, and I was really freaked out, so I just exited out. But the last year or so, I've been wanting to pick up this game. It's been on my wish list, but I never got a chance to buy it. So when this trailer came out, I was like, oh, I'll just watch the movie and then play the game. So this is coming from a non-gamer's perspective here. I mostly went in blind to this movie. I saw the one trailer and I was like, oh, this looks pretty interesting. It's like a Groundhog's Day kind of horror concept with these characters having to survive until dawn to kind of get out of this situation where they're getting killed over and over again. And I found that pretty intriguing. You know, seeing characters getting killed over and over again in different ways is always pretty fun, right? So I went in this movie and then I left and I'm like, I actually had fun with that. It's a pretty fun movie. It's what I call a popcorn horror movie. You know, it doesn't do anything to reinvent the genre of horror movies. It doesn't really do anything clever or smart, I would say. But, you know, when do horror movies do anything clever and smart? I guess not that often. But in this case, I guess you could say Sinners from last week, because this is nowhere near the best horror movie of the year. It's probably not going to be the second best horror movie of the year, but it's good. It's good in my opinion. I know a lot of gamer fans probably won't like this, as I've seen from the trailer's description and trailer comment section. A lot of gamer fans do not like how this trailer has looked, and I think a lot of gamer fans probably will not like the movie because I've heard that it doesn't really go with how the game went from some people who have played the game. Some of my friends have played the game and they said the trailer looks nothing like the game. So I have no idea what that means because I've never played the game. But hey, maybe if you play the game, you might like the movie, you might not. But I do say just give it a chance because I thought it was a really fun time. It's directed by David F. Sandberg, who worked on the Shazam movies and Annabelle Creation. So he's done a couple horror movies. You know, his Shazam movies, I like the first one. I think it's a great origin story. The second one, though, it threw me off. I was like, this is one of the worst superhero movies I've ever seen. Annabelle Creation, though, I thought was actually pretty decent. So he's worked in the horror genre before, so I had some, you know, expectations for him, and he pretty much delivered on the expectations. I was like, dude, just make another okay or decent horror movie, and I'll be fine with it. Because the horror movies we've been getting this year so far haven't been that great outside of Sinners, and this one, as I said, was pretty good to me. I think the best thing that David F. Sandberg did on this movie was add a lot of practical gore and effects on this, because there's a lot of gore and most of it is practical. Some of the first kills are practical, and I said, wow, that's amazing. I whispered under my breath during the movie. I was like, no way. And because it's a lot of practical gore. I'm a huge fan of practical gore. If you've seen some of my reviews for some other horror movies, I hate CGI blood. I hate CGI gore. It pisses me off because it looks so bad. You know, it just doesn't look real at all. The practical effects always look so good. They always look better. And there's scenes in here where people explode and it's all practical. There's scenes in here where people get their, you know, half their body chopped off. It's practical. There's scenes in here where a knife goes in someone's eye and it comes back out. It's practical. It looks so good. Practical gore is always better than CGI gore. And as I said here, there's scenes where people blow up. That reminded me so much of The Boys, because in The Boys, there was a soup who could blow people up, blow their heads up, actually. And it just reminded me of that. But I felt like David F. Sandberg had so much respect for kind of the gore in this movie. So I'll cut him some slack if, let's just say, the story wasn't that smart. Because as I said here, the story's not smart. It's not a, the cleverest horror movie. I was kind of confused here and there. I was like, what are we doing here? But I'll cut him some slack because the practical effects were top notch. And as I said before, the most intriguing part about this movie was that they had to survive until dawn, but they kept getting killed over and over again. So we got to see like multiple days of them getting killed in different ways. But something that took me out here was that we get to day 5 and then it kind of time jumps to day 13. So we miss a lot of footage of what happened throughout these other days that we missed. But then the character says, oh, look at my phone. I have all this footage of the days we didn't see. So we see the footage on the phone. And that to me was a cop-out because this character wasn't recording anything for the first 5 days, but suddenly he has all this footage. To me, if you're going to do a montage like that, you should have just done a straight up montage of kills in different ways with like a song along to it or something like that. It just felt weird to show it on the phone like a found footage movie, because if you're not going to go full found footage, don't do found footage for like 3 minutes of stuff. So that kind of brings me to my next point, which is this would have been so much better as a TV show. Like, I should be a producer because I think that this would be better as a TV show. I mean, think of it, 13 nights into 13 episodes of TV. One night is an episode, an hour-long episode. So you get 13 hours of content here, and each night the characters go like different ways, try different things, and they get killed different times and in different ways. That would have been so cool instead of this. I don't know, it would have been better. We got this movie. I like the movie, but my idea, I think, is so much better. I thought the cast was pretty good. Ella Rubin being my standout here as Clover. The pacing is also pretty decent for a movie that's an hour and a half, hour 40. It's like a normal horror movie length. I do kind of wish that the plot lines were a little bit more explained. And I think, as I said, I wish that the days weren't really time skipped like that. I wish I didn't jump over all those days. And I do think that there was an issue with some of the other plot lines, which were like romance subplots. They kind of teased a little bit of romance at the beginning, with 2 characters being split up. There's like kind of teasing that they'd get back together by the end of it, but they don't. I just felt like it was a little bit weird. Some things were missing. I felt some things were left on the cutting floor. I just felt like some of the other plot lines just didn't hit the mark for me, and I wish that the romance plot line worked out. But other than that, it's pretty well paced. Overall, I actually enjoyed Until Dawn, and that's probably because I've never played the game before, so it was all new source material to me. I really liked the ensemble here, especially Ella Rubin, and all the kills were awesome as they all used practical effects to a major extent. I really think that David F. Sandberg should stick to the horror genre, as I think they're better than his other movies, but I do think that the writing on this movie was particularly weak, as some of the plot lines just felt like they went nowhere. Some of the romance plot lines just didn't have an ending, and I also felt like the second half didn't feel as good as the first half here. I'm going to give Until Dawn a 7 out of 10. If you saw Until Dawn, leave your own thoughts down below in the description. I'd love to talk to you about it. If you enjoyed my review, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe to the channel, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.